fancy in the artisan handmade globes he makes, but...
Pick up.
Tuesday at 9 on Granada.
Now the national headlines from ITN with Carol Barnes.
Good afternoon. The Conservative leader William Hague has launched a stinging attack on the government for what he called its shabby behaviour after the death of Princess Diana. He accused Labour of trying to gain political advantage with its handling of the tragedy. The government described his comments as sad and unfortunate. John Draper reports.
As visitors at Buckingham Palace this morning were looking at flowers laid for the princess, there was a political row, with the Tories accusing Labour officials of claiming that the Prime Minister took over the lead role in organising the funeral.
The leaking of confidential advice given to the royal family, the apparent briefings to the press, that advice was given to the royal family that puts the government in a good light and the royal family in a bad light. Now that's shabby politics and it's bad government.
But Mr Blair's colleagues are defending the way he acted following the princess's death, saying the Prime Minister spoke for the nation and sought to unite and heal. It's understood criticism of the Queen reflected in a batch of opinion polls today is worrying Downing Street. An NOP poll found that 7 out of 10 people interviewed believed she was out of touch. Nearly a quarter want her to step down now. Contacts between Buckingham Palace and Downing Street are a regular feature of political life, regardless of who's in power. In the wake of the princess's death, Mr Blair's aim will be to use that channel of communication to strengthen the monarchy and keep it in touch with what modern Britain is thinking. John Draper, ITN, Buckingham Palace.
Green and Common Peace Campaign has celebrated a final victory today as the fencing around the former American airbase was pulled down. The site was once the scene of bitter clashes with anti-nuclear protesters. Now it's being returned to common land. Neil Connery reports from Green and Common.
For more than a decade, it was the focus of protests against the arrival of American cruise missiles on British soil. Once, thousands of women tried to cut their way through this fence at Green and Common. Today, their target was finally conquered.
1, 2, 3,
Peace campaigners at the Berkshire base demonstrated when the first cruise missiles were delivered in 1983. Many tried to block the operation, determined to swing public opinion. Jean Kay spent weeks on end camped at Greenham. She believes the protests were worthwhile.
Absolutely vital. I really don't think that many people would have heard of cruise missiles without the protests.
The missiles were removed 5 years ago when the American Air Force left. The site is now common land again.
We've now finally got it back. It's no less than is our due, and we're going to use it and make good use of it for the near future.
Where police and protesters once clashed, families have returned. A struggle against nuclear weapons, now a history lesson for a younger generation. Neil Connery, ITN, Greenham Common.
2 people have been seriously injured after a bus crash in Leeds. The vehicle ended up in the garden of a house. The driver was shocked but not badly hurt. A man and a woman had to be cut free from the wreckage of their car and taken to hospital. Sinn Féin's chief negotiator Martin McGuinness urged the Ulster Unionists today to move forward and join in tomorrow's peace talks. Their leader David Trimble said he was still cautiously exploring their options. From Belfast, Ivan Little reports.
Just as on every Sunday since the Troubles started, they were going to church across Northern Ireland today to pray for peace. But at this Protestant church in Belfast, they were also praying for the politicians and tomorrow's peace talks.
Our prayer has been that all will talk, and that they will not only talk, but that they will listen to each other.
Unionists, however, are still refusing to confirm that they will go to the talks.
We do want to make sure that the voice of people of Northern Ireland is heard properly and accorded the respect that it deserves. It's not much point entering a process where people listen to you and then go on and try to impose an arrangement designed to appease terrorists.
But Sinn Féin say they're optimistic about unionist involvement.
I really do believe now that there are many people within the Ulster Unionist Party, including Mr Trimble, who recognise that it is now time to move forward decisively into a dynamic process of peace negotiations.
With the stage now set at Stormont, the government repeated it was vitally important for all parties to be there tomorrow. Ivan Little, ITN, Belfast.
2 Israeli soldiers were killed early this morning in an explosion set off by Hezbollah guerrillas in South Lebanon. The men were rushed to hospital by helicopter. A third soldier was slightly wounded. The attack came in retaliation for the killing of the son of a militant leader on Friday. Finally, a 14-year-old boy may have solved a computer problem that stumped experts around the world. Nicholas Johnson from New Zealand says he's cracked the so-called millennium bug, which threatened to freeze computers in the year 2000. Sue Turton reports.
A solution to the worldwide computer crash of the next century may have baffled the experts, but for one New Zealand schoolboy, it's just another brain teaser. This 14-year-old was born with a quizzical mind.
Problem solving's interested me ever since I was a kid. My mum says I used to lie on the pram tracing electrical wires on the ceiling.
Now he's astounded the analysts by creating a program that could stop the millennium bug freezing 80% of the world's hardware, saving thousands of pounds and countless hours of work.
I think Nick has come up with something very, very clever. I've not seen anything like this yet. There's a couple of attempts I've seen on the internet so far, but none of them solve the problems that Nick has done.
Nicholas has applied for a patent. Until it's approved, access to this program is denied. Sue Turton, ITN.
And that's the news so far today. I'll be back with the latest at 7:15.
Hello, good afternoon. Straight away turning to our Met Office satellite picture, we see a nice clear slot of the UK representing a good day for most of us, but a swathe of cloud over the northwest there, and that's a storm brewing up with gales and rain coming into northern parts tonight. But now back to today, and it's a pleasant day for the most part, a good deal of sunshine lasting throughout the day in the south, thicker cloud further north, and a scattering of showers over Northern Ireland, Scotland and down into the north of England, and that thickening cloud in the northwestern corner later as that depression deepens. So it's a windy old day here too, but lighter winds further south with a pleasant high of 19 or 66. Quick look at tonight, and the gales and the rain steaming across Scotland. From the south of Scotland southwards, clear skies with touches of ground frost.
Power gen. Generating electricity whatever the weather.